What's up guys, it is Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000 and welcome to my review of Naruto Shippuden, episode 293. Can you believe this filler arc is actually making some of the more canon arcs look like crap? I mean, this has got to have some of the best action that I have seen in the entire series, and the first 10 minutes of this episode definitely delivered. Right off the bat, we pick up from last week's episode where this Edo Tensei Kyuubi clone thing is just going crazy and attacking everybody, when all of a sudden Rock Lee and Guy appear out of nowhere, kicking the crap out of it, and then all of a sudden everybody from Konoha seems to make an appearance here, and this action scene goes on for quite a while, and damn it, it is great. There are so many little cool moments. I loved when Kabuto was using his snakes and Shikamaru was using his shadows to try and attack them. As if that weren't enough, Kabuto summoned a ton of Edo Tensei characters, many of which really aren't recognizable at all, but that doesn't matter because all of our ninja characters get to do a lot of really cool things. There's a ton of really great choreography that is just all over the place, a ton of really cool ninja moves. Rock Lee and Guy really steal the show at the beginning because they both open their gates at the same time and they both team up against the Kyuubi, and Guy does this punch, which is just awesome. If you guys see the episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All of a sudden the Kyuubi starts freaking out and it wants more power. So what does it do? It goes over to Naruto and literally grabs his stomach and starts ripping the chakra from it. And the Kyuubi inside is more than obliged to give it some. And then it starts growing bigger and bigger and bigger until we have literally a giant clone of the actual Kyuubi itself. And then it starts going on a rampage, destroying everything. Obviously Kabuto can't control it at this point, and it just starts killing everybody and destroying the buildings. And the Konoha ninja are having to save everybody. All in the while, Naruto is completely knocked out. The kids try running away with the main teacher, and then the teacher sees that he can save Naruto. That's when the big Kyuubi thing comes over and it's getting ready to smash both of them. But obviously Naruto is very important, and probably this teacher too, to Kabuto's plans, so he uses one of his snakes to actually get them away and captures them. The Kyuubi loses all of its power, and then all the people in the town are saved. What sucks, however, is that Naruto and that teacher are now caught, and that sucks for them. After all this action, though, we get a little bit of story and poignancy put in. We get to see a little flashback what happened after that scene where that little girl Mina was slapped. A scene with Shiseru and Doku who are sitting there on the bed and everything. And she seems like she obviously really likes him, and he does too, but there's still something that's keeping them from being together, obviously, and he still feels really guilty about not being able to save her when they were much younger. The scene itself is very well done. It just seems very out of place for Naruto. Kabuto has Naruto and the teacher locked up in this weird dark place where Naruto is literally tied up with all these black snakes. In the scene here, they're trying to show that the Kyuubi is starting to take over Naruto's body, and I like how it's done here. It's really cool. I've never seen it done like this before. They show the inside of Naruto, and you can actually see there are portions of his face and his body that are starting to disappear, and that's actually the parts that are being enveloped by the Kyuubi's chakra. And I just thought that was a really nice, artistic touch. But Naruto remembers wise words from his father and realizes why he's been gaining his power all this time, and that gives him the strength to overcome the power of the Kyuubi. Then we get the dun-dun-dun moment, where we actually get to see that Kabuto is in cahoots with someone else. It's already sort of been hinted that he was working with someone else during this whole arc, but now we figure out who it is, and spoiler alert, it's that weird chief character that we saw from the very beginning of the first episode. The guy who looks like he could be a villain from pretty much any Naruto movie. He has big plans, one that involves some really bright lights. What that does, I have no idea. It's kind of vague and left in the air, and we have to watch what's going to happen next week. But it looks like the kids are going to go try and save the teacher, and all these ninja are going to try and save them as well. So there is a ton of stuff that is getting ready to happen, and there are only 2 episodes left to do it. So I really enjoyed this episode. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10. It just had some of the best action, like I said, I've ever seen in the entire series. Just as good as the stuff that we've seen in the last couple episodes of Chikara. I love the fact that they're basically getting all of the Rookie 9 to come back and do something really cool. There are a few of them who really aren't there and not really doing much. But still, it's good to see them there. A lot of these characters got to do some really cool things. I didn't even mention that Choji was there. There was another really great scene where the Kyuubi actually tried doing a beast bomb, and it shot it off, and it went over the mountains, and then it went right past Deidara and Hidan, and they're like, what the fuck? And speaking of Hidan, what I think is really cool, when Kabuto gets rid of some of his Edo Tensei characters, usually a lot of the times a coffin comes up, but since Hidan's sort of that special case, he's sort of that weird clone-type Edo Tensei thing that was made by the snakes, he actually gets swallowed up by a snake, and when he's doing so, he obviously doesn't want to, and he's like, you fucking snake, no! And then it finally eats him. It's really funny, and, there's just so many other little moments that were done in this. It's the type of episode I'm going to have to rewatch a couple times, just so I can look at all the different choreography moments. But, this was an epic episode, and it had some really great animators that were working on it as well. This episode right here was handled by Toshiyuki Suru, who has worked on some really classic episodes in the Naruto series, series such as Naruto Shippuden episode 85, and his expertise really show here. He's got a great team of animators working with him, and it really shows, and they've really brought something special to the table here, and I think we really need to give these guys some credit. Other animators he had working on this episode were Hiroto Tanaka and Atsuko Nakajima. So there were a lot of really great animators working on this, some of the best that we've seen, and I love this arc so much. The only thing I have to ask the animation team is this. When you get to the really big stuff that's going on in this war, please, I implore you, put as much work as you're putting into this filler as you are into that, because that's really what we want to see. But still, I love this arc so far. It is really, really good. It basically seems like a movie that they've cut up into a few different pieces. But if you guys want to check out this episode, I highly recommend it, especially if you're following it, because it just keeps getting better and more interesting. The side characters are interesting, the action is awesome, and for God's sakes, there is a Kyuubi in this episode that is firing a beast bomb. Awesome! Alright guys, so how did you feel about this episode? You can let me know with your comments below. And remember guys, as always, if you like this review, make sure and give it a thumbs up. It really helps these videos out a lot. That concludes this review today. SuperKamiGuru9000, out.